Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Larry Goodman, and as president of Rush University, I hereby call to order this 45th commencement convocation for the purpose of conferring degrees. I'd like to call on the Reverend Clayton Thomason, Chair of Religion, Health, and Human Values in the College of Health Sciences, to deliver the invocation. Please remain standing after the invocation for the national anthem.
If you could capture the joy in this room and carry it with you out into the world, how would you change the world? How could you live a life of joy in the face of every challenge? Well, that's the question that the Book of Joy recounts in a breathtaking week of dialogue between the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, two of the most joyful people on the planet, beloved friends, sharing hard-won wisdom of finding enduring happiness and joy in the face of life's challenges. They write, "No dark fate determines the future. We do. Each day and each moment we are able to create and recreate our lives in the very quality of human life on our planet." So in a few moments, you will take an oath. But first, I'd like to invite you to join me in this pledge. I promise to share the joy, to see the world through joyful eyes, to find the beauty in everything, appreciate everyone, and let happiness be my guide, to hug strangers along the way, to hold dearly onto their stories and have the courage to let go of my own, to find one another, to feel and to let joy surround me. This is my pledge. Join me. #share the joy. Amen.
Now, please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be performed by the Rush University Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. A practice initiated in 1502 at the University of Oxford and the University of Cambridge in England, the distinction of holding an endowed professorship ranks as the highest honor attainable in an academic setting. Rush University's first endowed professorship was established in 1963 through the generosity of a single individual. As both a university and an academic medical center, Rush was the first private hospital in the country to establish an endowed chair. This launched Rush's distinguished tradition of endowed chairs. We now have a total of 95 endowed chairs worth more than $200 million. Rush owes a deep debt of gratitude to those whose generous philanthropic investments create the opportunity to endow and name a professorship at Rush University. Each endowed chair is a symbol of confidence in and commitment to Rush and its mission to provide the best health care through the integration of education and research. The endowed chairs enable Rush University to recognize the talents of a faculty physician, nurse, or researcher who has risen through the ranks and contributed immensely to the future of Rush. They also provide Rush with opportunities and resources to seek out and recruit some of the most prominent clinicians and researchers in the country. As part of their formal academic regalia, the faculty members in attendance who are endowed chair holders each wear a custom-designed, personalized medallion engraved with the Rush University shield to symbolize their distinguished status among the faculty. Will all newly appointed endowed chair holders please stand and face your family, friends, and loved ones and be recognized. Congratulations. And now, in addition, will all of the endowed professors please stand and equally be recognized. Please be seated. And again, congratulations. Is there a candidate for an honorary degree?
Mr. President, I have a candidate.
Dr. Thomas Deutsch, Provost of Rush University, please come forward to present the candidate.
I am pleased and privileged to present Christopher B. Howard as a candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Dr. Christopher B. Howard is the 8th president of Robert Morris University near Pittsburgh and one of the youngest university presidents in the United States. He is a distinguished graduate of the United States Air Force Academy and earned a doctorate in politics as a Rhodes Scholar from the University of Oxford. He also has an MBA with distinction from Harvard Business School. Dr. Howard's service to his country began as a helicopter pilot, then as an intelligence officer where he was assigned to the elite Joint Special Operations Command. After 9/11, he served in Afghanistan in the Air Force Reserve and was awarded the Bronze Star. He also served as the Reserve Air Attaché to Liberia. Dr. Howard aims to make Robert Morris University the preferred strategic partner for corporations, organizations, professionals, and aspiring professionals in the Pittsburgh region and beyond. The university is nationally ranked by the U.S. News & World Report, which also rates Robert Morris among the top 10% of universities for online bachelor's degree programs in the nation. In January, the university announced it would partner with the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center to build the UPMC Events Center, part of a $50 million capital project, the largest in the university's history. Before coming to Robert Morris, Dr. Howard was president of Hampton-Sydney College in Virginia and vice president for leadership and strategic initiatives at the University of Oklahoma. He enjoyed a successful career in the corporate world, working in General Electric's Corporate Initiatives Group and Bristol-Myers Squibb's Corporate Associates Program. Previously, Dr. Howard served on the National Security Education Board, appointed by President Barack Obama, and the MyVA Advisory Committee of the United States Department of Veteran Affairs. He is a member of the Board of Directors of the Allegheny Conference on Community Development and a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Youngest Presidents Organization. He is a Henry Crown Fellow at the Aspen Institute and has received honorary degrees from Centre College, Ripon College, Christopher Newport University, and the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Dr. Howard won the Campbell Trophy, the nation's highest academic award for a senior college football player. He is a member of the Verizon Academic All-American Hall of Fame and a winner of the NCAA Silver Anniversary Award. And he is one of the 13 members of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. Dr. Howard is the founder and a trustee of the Impact Young Lives Foundation, a nonprofit organization that brings South African college students of color to the U.S. for summer educational and cultural tours. His wife, Barbara Noble Howard, is the foundation's executive director and a native of South Africa. The Howards have 2 sons, Cohen and Joshua. Christopher B. Howard, will you please come forward?
Christopher B. Howard, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all of the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. Please join me in congratulating our newest alumnus. It should come as no surprise, Dr. Howard, that as your first official duty as an alumnus, you are invited to present the commencement address to the Rush University class of 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to present Doctor of Humane Letters, Christopher B. Howard.
Thank you again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Here's the good news. The speech is shorter than the introduction. So you're all in good shape. And when I hear that, I think about Forrest Gump. You know, I'm like, run, Forrest, run. And then Dr. Howard walked across America barefoot backwards. So I love that stuff. I'm delighted to be here to say a few words. I'm humbled because about 25 years ago in a galaxy far, far away at the United States Air Force Academy, President George Herbert Walker Bush gave an inaugural address, commencement address, to the cadets. And I want to say it was brilliant, but I can't remember any of it. So I'm very humble as I deliver these remarks to you all. I wanted to be a little bit more moving and shaking here, and I actually had these great members of the staff here get me a handheld microphone so I could come out and be Oprah Winfrey style, or if you're older, Phil Donahue style. But my wife said no. And she said, Chris, you're not Chris Rock. But I said, honey, I want to be Chris Rock. But as you can see, my wife won. Ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Howard. She always wins. Give her a round of applause. Thank you, Barbara. I'm delighted to be an honorary alumni of this wonderful Rush University. You know, being a DPhil or a doctoral recipient in the past from Oxford, people think I'm actually a medical doctor. And, you know, one of my good friends, Marty Parrish, told me one time he checked in as Dr. Marty Parrish. He was a political philosophy guy. He was on an airplane, and there was an emergency on the plane. And they said, is there a doctor here? And they said, Dr. Parrish, why don't you come up here and help this guy out? And Marty said, I can read some Aristotle or Plato to him, but that's about it. So, you know, so nobody pass out here. This is a fine institution with a fine history, and I will tell you, last night I was doing my due diligence. I had dinner with a wonderful woman who runs Hickory Farms. She's the CEO, and her husband and my wife and I were at Boarding House, wonderful restaurant. And out of the blue, she said that Rush Medical Center took care of her ailing mother years ago, and she said they were top-notch. And I immediately said, of course they are. I'm one of them. I'm an alum. So I took full credit, but isn't it great that completely unsolicited people speak so highly of what you do here. So what I want to do is what one of my old commanders used to say when I used to go brief them, was be brief, be bright, and be gone. And that's what I'm going to try to do. And I'm going to retitle my talk. It's 2 B's and an E. I'm just going to call it 3 B's. I like action. I want us to be a couple of things. And I want to thank Dr. Goodman. I want to thank Provost Deutsch. I want to thank the Board of Trustees. I want to thank the faculty for all you do. And I ask that the graduates from Rush University Class 2017, let's give those folks a round of applause first. And I know that President Goodman's going to do it throughout at some point in the speech, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want the graduates to stand up and give a round of applause to these very talented, wonderful people, these parents and families that supported you. Let's stand up and give them a round of applause. Thank you all very much, graduates. You may be seated. You may not realize this, but you've already given me a standing ovation. So I feel like my work's done here, Dr. Goodman. So we're going to do 3 Bs, and then we're going to be gone. So graduates from the class 2017, I want you to be accountable. And I think about accountability. Dr. Goodman, Provost Deutsch mentioned that I played football back at the United States Air Force Academy. He didn't mention that we beat Ohio State my senior year 23-11. And, I'm just saying, oh, how I hate Ohio State. But that's another thing. But my 4th practice at the United States Air Force Academy, 2-a-day practice, my senior year, Coach DeBerry had some remarks for us. And by the way, Coach DeBerry's from South Carolina. Anybody from South Carolina want to raise your hand? Okay, you won't want to admit it after I tell this story. But anyway, Coach DeBerry was from South Carolina, which meant he spoke often, loud, and in a way you could not understand. So Coach DeBerry would say things like this. Oh, by golly, man, we need to keep the punny, we do the run, let's go right now. What the hell did Coach DeBerry just say? I don't know, but keep running, he might shut up. He just had a way with words. He would say things like, and he'd have these sayings that go along with that, and his favorite saying was this, by golly, ladies and gentlemen, men in this team, if you leave this auditorium tonight, see, I should have held a handheld. If you leave this auditorium tonight, and you see a turtle on a fence post, he didn't get there by himself. What the hell is Coach talking about? This is not biology. What are turtles? By the way, the turtle didn't get there by himself. It was teamwork. But Coach was a very, shall we say, colorful person. And like I said, that 4th practice of our senior year, Coach had us arranged in a semicircle, and he was speaking to us. He was giving this great story. He was going, I said, by golly, we need to beat Army this year. We need to beat them last year. We got to beat them this year. We need the kickers to kick better and the punters to punt better, by golly. And you were down there on one knee, and Coach is talking. I'll just demonstrate. I'll do it for this side, too. So. And Coach talked so long that you have to switch knees. Well, 17 knees later, Coach DeBerry said something that was very, very special. He said, by golly, men, what kind of team we have if everybody were to practice just like you? And by golly, what kind of team we have, men, if everybody were to play just like you? And by golly, what kind of team we have if everybody were to comport themselves in the classroom just like you? Ladies and gentlemen, Coach DeBerry was asking us to be accountable. I reflected at that moment to my philosophy class, my junior year, where we studied a guy named Dr. Immanuel Kant, who wrote something called the categorical imperative. It goes something like this. How universalizable are your actions? If everybody were to act just like you or the person in the 7th row who's sleeping or tweeting or texting, just like that person, what kind of society would we have? What kind of world we have? How universalizable are your actions? It's a great lesson that Coach DeBerry bestowed upon us early on. And what's interesting about it is that you as graduates now, earning your degrees, that accountability will not go down, ask Dr. Goodman this, it'll only go up as you go through your internships and your residencies, your fellowships, as you take positions of more authority and responsibility. Like my mom always says, the higher you get up the flagpole, the more your butt they can see. So that accountability quotient won't go anywhere. It's only going to get higher and higher. Even when I was at Hampton-Sydney College back in Virginia, one time I took a trip out to Wintergreen. It was the summer. It's a ski resort, but it was summer. And one of my friends, one of the members of the board of trustees, let me stay at his house. I drove there. My wife and my kids were out of town. I had my dog with me. I drove up to the resort, to my friend's house. I got out. I was going to have a little R&R. And all of a sudden I heard somebody say, Dr. Howard. And I said, oh my God, God? But it wasn't God. It was actually a staff member who worked at Hampton-Sydney College who had a house near one of my trustees. Well, first off, I thought, man, my staff members sure get paid a lot of money. But secondly, and we chatted for a second about me coming up there, and it was a great conversation, and I walked inside without incidents. But I thought to myself, isn't it good that I didn't get out of the car and scratch my butt or pick my nose and kick the crap out of my dog. And, hey, hi, Dr. Howard, how are you? Accountability doesn't stop when people are looking, when you're in the surgical ward, when you're in the board meeting, when you're in the managerial meeting, when you're in the faculty meeting. Accountability is there when you don't think people are looking. So I promise you, though, there's someone looking at these graduates, Provost Deutsch and Dr. Goodman, and this wonderful faculty up front. Somebody is looking at each and every one of you. There's a little girl or a little boy or a young boy or a young girl or a middle-aged guy and a middle-aged girl that are looking at you all and they want to be just like you. So be accountable. Be accountable. The second B goes back to one of my favorite characters in the world. I'm not going to get political out here, but I'm going to talk about former President Bill Clinton. Anybody met the former president? Okay, I'm going to describe it to you. I met him on a couple occasions. He's taller than you think he is. And when you meet him, Bill Clinton is looking at you. He's looking at you so closely, it's kind of creepy. He's looking at you, you go right, he goes right with you. You go left, he goes left with you. Then he delivers that signature phrase, I feel your pain. And then like, poof, he felt my pain is gone. He has a wonderful, deep sense of human empathy. Let's hold the politics aside. He's trying to get into your shoes. He's trying to understand where you come from. What a talent. What a talent that is for people going into the medical profession and the health professions. You are the infantry of empathy. You should hashtag that maybe. I think that's pretty good. Hashtag infantry empathy. That's good. You are at the front lines of human concern. Not always sympathy, boo-hoo, woo-hoo, but empathy because you have an indigent patient who cannot speak your tongue. Empathy because you realize that someone has been dealt the most difficult news in their entire life and you have to tell it to them. Empathy because you're Rush University graduates and you're special and you're different and you're touched. So there's a saying, a story about these two prime ministers of England, and let us think for a second about those who perished in Manchester senselessly about a week ago. It's so terribly sad. And we saw a lot of empathy. We saw hatred on that day, but we saw empathy on that day as well. So God bless those people of the United Kingdom. We are with them in spirit. Thank you. There are two prime ministers in British history right around the 1900s. Late 1800s, excuse me. One was William Gladstone, and one was Benjamin Disraeli. One was a liberal Democrat, one was a Tory conservative. They were brilliant men. But here's the difference. When you were speaking to Gladstone, you thought that you were speaking to the most important man in the world. But when you were speaking to Disraeli, you felt like he was speaking to the most important man or woman in the world. Be like Disraeli in that regard. Right? Speak more to understand and to express and less to just to simply impress, a point of empathy. My last point about being empathetic goes back to an African tradition. I read a book years ago called The Power of One, set in right around World War I South Africa, my wife's native country. And it's a boy named PK. He's a white kid who has a black friend who's Zulu. And in the tradition, in the book as it describes, when the gentleman from the Zulu gentleman would greet people, they would say hello, and the answer would be, I see you. Think about that. When I say hello to you, you say to me, I see you. I indemnify your humanity. Think about Ralph Ellison in The Invisible Man, probably the greatest novel ever written by an African American. He says, I am an invisible man, not because I cannot be seen, but rather because you refuse to see me. And we walk around the streets of Chicago, South Side, West Side, Hyde Park sometimes, especially West Side and South Side. Sometimes we see around each other. Sometimes we see over each other. Sometimes we smell the scent of each other. But do we actually see each other? You, ladies and gentlemen, are going into a profession where it is demanded that you see others. In the oath that you take, you must see others. So be empathetic. Be empathetic. Here's my final B, ladies and gentlemen. It goes back to January 17th, 1995. It was then Captain Chris Howard, stationed at Laughlin Air Force Base near San Antonio, Texas, assigned to fly T-37 jet trainers. I was on my 4th solo mission, and I was headed out to do some acrobatic maneuvers. I made a radio call that sounded something like this.
Tiger 3-1, Area 3-9, request permission to do acrobatic maneuvers. Roger 3-9, you're cleared. Acrobatic maneuvers, over.
Man, I was cooler than the other side of the pillow, baby. Because I've been given permission to do acrobatic maneuvers, including the Cuban 8. Do you want to see it? That's not a rhetorical question. Do you want to see it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I want to see the person who's doing the sign language kind of keep up with me. I just love that. You want to see it again? Okay. It goes like this. You kind of do a loop, you're inverted, you go from inverted to erect, and you go to pull up. But ladies and gentlemen, what happened to me on January 15, 1995 on my 4th solo mission, when I pulled the stick to go up, this way, the plane went that way. Now, you don't have to be getting the degree from Rush University to know that when you pull the stick this way, the plane ain't supposed to go that way. And all of a sudden, an airplane that typically sounded like this, sounded like this. That is a bad airplane sound, ladies and gentlemen. And all of a sudden, a guy who was really cool and having a great time, all of a sudden started getting really negative in the seat. My head starts hitting the top of the canopy. The airplane starts making these crazy noises and sounds, and I start to do some really bad algebra problems. If a plane is crashing toward the ground at 320 miles an hour, and a train leaves Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning, when is Captain Howard going to die? Seems to be always to be a train from Chicago in these story problems, these word problems. At that point, going about 320 miles an hour, kind of in a Bugs Bunny spiral death dive, I start to see things that pilots should never see. Ladies and gentlemen, I start to see trees. I start to see trees on leaves. Leaves on trees, excuse me. I start to see squirrels on leaves on trees. Ladies and gentlemen, I start to see nuts in the hands of squirrels on leaves on trees, and then all of a sudden I say, I'm going to die. That's not funny. But it's kind of funny. And I said, oh my goodness, there's an ejection seat. So I reached down, I grabbed the hand grip, I squeezed the triggers, and all of a sudden, that's me coming out of the plane, opening shock. I was no longer cooler than the other side of the pillow. I look out about 800 meters, the airplane goes from right to left, hits the ground. It was like being in a movie, a really bad, scary movie. And I started doing my training that had kicked in at that time. I go to raise the visor on my helmet, and I realized that my helmet had been sucked off in the ejection. And I look at my hands, and my Nomex fire retardant gloves had been sucked off in the ejection. And then I touched the side of my face, and it was swollen, and blood was coming down the side of my face. And then I said, I'm going to land right now. Because I did a high-speed, low-altitude ejection, which is a bad combination. And I just pummeled into the ground. And I'd done parachute training in the past, and you're supposed to do a PLF, which is a parachute landing fall. Ladies and gentlemen, I instead did a PFL, a pretty freaking bad landing, just poof. Well, I kind of regained my bearing, and I took my parachute and I spread it on the ground, and it's orange and white in peacetime so people can see it. And about 20 minutes later, one of my fellow pilots and his instructor pilot flew over. They saw me, they rocked my wings, and within about 3 hours, I was picked up by the Border Patrol helicopter. We were not too far from the Mexican border, flown back to Laughlin Air Force Base. I got off the helicopter, and I walked over to Colonel Tim Pepe, who was the wing commander, and I said, sir, Captain Howard reports. He says, well, Captain Howard, what happened? I said, sir, I was doing a Cuban 8. It turned into a nose-level recovery, and then I had to eject. Well, he said, you made the best decision you could have made, young man, because I'm here to shake your hand and not pick it up off the ground. Within about 24 hours, I was whisked down to Wilford Hall in San Antonio, where I had knee surgery. Came back up to Laughlin Air Force Base for 6 weeks of rehabilitation on my knee, and not one, but 2 investigations. And after that 6 weeks, I was told by the investigators that I was cleared to fly. You can imagine that night, ladies and gentlemen, tossing and turning at Laughlin Air Force Base, praying and thinking. I thought to myself, the last time I flew an airplane, I damn near died. So maybe I'll take a job on the ground in the Air Force. Are there any coal mining jobs in the Air Force? I'm just going to stay low. But I thought about all the people that had sacrificed for me to be in that cockpit. I thought about the 332nd Fighter Pursuit Group, led by Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., West Point class of 1936. The Red Tails, the famed Tuskegee Airmen, they escorted bombers over North Africa and over Southern Europe, and they never lost a bomber they escorted, and those bombers were all flown by whites. They'd come back to America to places like Chicago or Richmond or Dallas or even New York, and they were treated like second-class citizens. And even that guy, Brigadier General Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., Colonel Benjamin O. Davis, Jr. at the time, when he was at West Point for 4 years, his classmates would not speak to him because he was a black man. I thought about those sacrifices. I thought about the sacrifices of my father, who had fought in the Vietnam War and was awarded the Bronze Star as a combat engineer. Finally, I thought about my uncle, Sergeant First Class Charles Bo Howard, who had fought 2 tours in Vietnam. And Uncle Bo always had a cool Oldsmobile, always had a clean car. He was telling me after the war, he's in Columbus, Georgia, at Fort Benning, Georgia, driving in the base, gets pulled over by a cop. Police officer says, "You were speeding." My uncle grades out his registration, takes out his license, and says, "No, sir, I wasn't speeding." And the officer looked him in the eye and said, "Shut up, N." And the N didn't stand for NBA, I promise you that. I thought about all those sacrifices those people had made for me to be in that cockpit. I reported to Colonel Pepe. I stood at attention. I saluted. I said, "Sir, Captain Howard reports for duty." And this is my final B. Be courageous. Be courageous. In your jobs, as leaders in the healthcare and medical profession, you will be asked to make sacrifices. You will be asked to put yourself in harm's way. You will have to have moral, emotional, spiritual, and even physical courage to do your jobs. And you can do it. Trust your training, trust your education, trust your preparedness. But do be courageous. The sure way for evil to triumph, ladies and gentlemen, is for good men and women to do nothing. You must do something. You must be courageous. So that's my final B. So I asked you in the beginning to be accountable, to be empathetic, be courageous. God bless you, and God bless Rush University. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Howard, that was tremendous. I think the lessons are about the accountability. Everything we do counts. Everything we do really ought to be aimed at what other people are thinking. And let me add just one more lesson to the graduating class from Dr. Howard's comments. If you're going to do a Cubanate, do it the way he showed you with his hand, not in a plane, just the hands. Now we have some diplomas to give out. Are there candidates for degrees in the health sciences?
Mr. President, I have candidates.
Dr. Charlotte Royeen, Dean of the College of Health Sciences, please present the candidates.
Will the candidates for the College of Health Sciences degrees in Health Sciences, Imaging Sciences, Vascular Ultrasound, Clinical Laboratory Management, Clinical Nutrition, Health Systems Management, Medical Laboratory Science, Occupational Therapy, Perfusion Technology, Physician Assistant Studies, Respiratory Care, Speech-Language Pathology, and Audiology, please rise. Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Health Sciences, I have the honor to present candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, and Doctor of Audiology.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Bachelor of Science, Master of Science, and Doctor of Audiology with all of the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. In due course, you'll each come forward to receive your diplomas in recognition of your academic success. Congratulations to each of you, and please be seated. Are there candidates for degrees in nursing?
Mr. President, I have candidates.
Dr. Marquise Foreman, Dean of the College of Nursing, please present the candidates.
Will the candidates for Master of Science of Nursing and Doctor of Nursing Practice please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Nursing, I have the honor to present candidates for Master of Science in Nursing and Doctor of Nursing Practice. These candidates come from one of the best colleges of nursing in the country, and they are prepared in nursing and well prepared to lead the transformation of healthcare.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Master of Science in Nursing and Doctor of Nursing Practice, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. In due course, you too shall come forward to receive your diplomas as testimony to your excellent educational accomplishments. My warmest congratulations. And please be seated. Are there candidates for degrees in Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy?
Mr. President, I have candidates.
Dr. James Mulshine, Acting Dean of the Graduate College, please present the candidates.
Will the candidates for the Graduate College degrees in Anatomy and Cell Biology, Biotechnology, Clinical Research, Immunology, Microbiology, Integrated Biomechanical Sciences, Biochemistry, Health Sciences, Neurosciences, Nursing Science, and Pharmacology please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the faculty of the Graduate College, I have the honor to present candidates for the degree of Masters of Science and Doctor of Philosophy. Our graduates have completed the college's rigorous course of studies and research while working in teams to find innovative solutions to complex biomedical problems. We are confident that they will be well equipped to contribute to the important progress in addressing complex medical and health needs of the diverse communities of Chicago and beyond, and do that with joy.
By virtue of the authority of the Board of Trustees vested in me, I hereby confer upon you the degrees of Master of Science and Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. In due course, you too shall come forward to receive your diplomas, which demonstrate your deep commitment to academic success. Congratulations to each of you. Please be seated. Are there candidates for degrees in medicine? Dr. Ranga Krishnan, Dean of the Rush Medical College, please present the candidates.
Will the candidates for degrees in medicine please rise? Mr. President, on behalf of the outstanding faculty of Rush Medical College, I have the honor of presenting these outstanding candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Medicine, with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining. In due course, you also will come forward to receive your diplomas, which symbolize the successful outcome of your dedicated efforts. Congratulations to each of you on this achievement. Now I'd like to ask Dr. Mariam Ahmad to call forward the graduates to receive their diplomas. Ms. Carol Siegel, who's the chair of the Board of Governors, and Mr. Bill Goodyear, who is the chairman of the board of Rush University Medical Center. Will you please join me in awarding them?
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in Health Sciences please come forward? Patricia Angelica Balderas Rivera. Maziel Casado. Michelle Heemstra. Emmanuel Limon. Ashley Nicole Lopez. Brandon Arthur Maring. Isabel Nieto. Ryan Marie Unabia. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in Imaging Sciences please come forward? Kelly Jane Coleman. Jennifer Lavette Davis. Renee Camille Dopra. Amelia Glenska. Antonella Deborah Guardiola. Julie Lader. Kevin James Lynch. Dora Esther Maldonado. Justin Jeffrey Maring. Selena Mendoza. Samuel Oten. Rachel Elizabeth Pook. Catherine Scupian, Bachelor of Science in Imaging Sciences. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in Medical Laboratory Science please come forward? Rachel Nicole Brenniger. Teresa Ann Cullen Wagner. Alyssa Lynn Eric. Veronica Mahmood. Sumaya Khatun. Malik Mahmood. Kathleen Suzanne Makarsky. Abrielle Tashelle Miller. Peter Nielsen. Giselle Molina. Asil Ali Ruaf. William Andrew Ratuno. Aisha Javed Sheikh. Ermeyez Bezabe Weldayanis. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in perfusion technology please come forward? Dejan Vasiljevic. Amy Jo Walker. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in respiratory care please come forward? Anna Marie Korik. Kelvin Kofi Opaku. Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science with a major in vascular ultrasound please come forward? Christina Gonzalez. Yasmin Jibrin. Lauren Lasalkis. Natalie Ortega. Ashley Oshana. Huda Khalid Salahat. Fatima Yasmin Shupaijaj. Patrick McInnery Skinner. Kruti Jayesh Sani. Sarah Elizabeth Visk. Alicia Jasmine Simone Whitley. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Nursing please come forward? Kelsey Allison. Kelly Allworth. Krishna Shalish Amin. Alexis Nicole Anderson. Lorenz Marie Castro Balayan. Erica Haley Balcom. Rashik M. Bland. Anna Bosick. Victoria Carolyn Bowers. Austin Joseph Brown. Christopher Robert Bonds. Margaret Mary Butler. Andrea Teresita Cabrera. Megan Elizabeth Calkins. Alessandra Elizabeth Caprelli. Aquila Chambers. Samantha Formanis Clinton. Sage Ashley Kuhn. Amanda Carolyn Cornick. Anna Nicole Ann Cruz. Lisa Lee D'Amico. Valerie Alexis Davis. Emily Lynn Digas. Brianna McCabe Eaton. Alexandra Lacey Egan. Lauren Catherine Faust. Christina Danielle Flora. Emily Suzanne Fraser. Sharon Elaine Friedenbach Morris. Ashley Lauren Funk. LaFay Imani Garth. Trisha Marie Grooms. Catherine Ann Hall. Whitney Suzanne Hanson. Serene Hilwani. Joy Brianna Henry. Molly Danielle Hare. Kayla Lee Hutcherson. Erica Danielle Johnson. William Daniel Jones. David William Jung. Alyssa Marie Cortis. Barbara Cozio. Elizabeth Ann Kramer. Kim Dung Nguyen Kai. Tiffany Martinez. Colleen Marie McIntyre. Teresa Marie McCullen. Emily Rose Melovic. Kyle Lynn Morris. Crystal Nicole Nowinski. Temuno Bellama Obamanu. Caitlin Marie O'Brien. Sabina Obrakta. Glenda Lee Singleton O'Connor. Alexandra Lucille Oglesby. Teresa O'Grady. Sonam Patel. Gabriela Perez. Megan Summer Perez. Yulia Popova. Kamaria Aisha Price. Melanie Pugh, Cecilia Ramirez, Ashley Jahan Roche, Christina Marie Rook, Amanda K. Roswag, Jessica Lee Rutello, Lindsay Iman Russell, Candelaria Sanchez, Maylin Santamaria, Mary Ellen Sarna, Taylor Schroeder, Amanda Jo Shuvi, Yael Shamargad, Jamil Akeem Smart, Elizabeth Ann Smith, Molly Sori, David Andrew Steedley, Megan Ray Stoner, Megan Elizabeth Thompson, Victoria Lee Tamaris, Crystal Danielle Walker, Catherine Ashley Walusiak, Nava Leisha West, Renita Lee Wilkes, Blair Williams, Amanda Marie Willison, Kyle F. Wright, Denise Catherine Yanez, Jacqueline Danielle Zazetis, Rachel Mary Zeman. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in Clinical Laboratory Management please come forward? Aisha Nicole Carter. Alisa Nicole Gishwinder. Megan Nicole Harley. Jessica Sue Henning. Catherine Susan Itel. Amy Louise Mata. Lisa M. Shave. Melissa K. Rowe. Christine Marie Simpson. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in Clinical Nutrition please come forward? Melanie Battaglia, Alyssa Marie Cho, Megan Kathleen Cummings, Morgan Dice, Hannah Rosemary Diamond, Faith Liu Phuc Doan, Catherine Elizabeth Holbrook, Ilana Nurko, Jane Aaron Peter, Courtney Ann Shookman, Ashley K. Sell, Layla Marie Shen, Erin Michelle Taylor, Amanda Christine Van Jacobs, Hillary Catherine Zellner. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in Medical Laboratory Science please come forward? Zaid Muqdam Al-Jassani, Tiffany Wan Su Anton, Jessica Bethke, Samantha Eugenio, Jonathan French, Sarah Elizabeth Gliwa, Naomi Ruth E.Y., Tyler James Clow-White, Ariel Siobhan Maskus, Jamila Marie McClinton, Marie Elizabeth Miller, Cruz Allen Rannering, Brian Chapno, Abraham Eber Sosa Armenta, Sally Michelle Whitaker. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Health Systems Management please come forward? Anjali Ustana, Scott Livingston Blanchard, Mario Andreas Quartas, Michael Junaski, Danielle Marie Getter, Benjamin Gonzalez San Martin, Sarah Juras, Elizabeth K. Kazarek, Joseph Terrence Lee, Sammy Mahmood, Haley Charlotte Mulliner, Patrick Nielsen, Mallory Nolan, John O'Toole, Allison Parker, Ishani Patel, Kristen Ann Raffaelli, Jordan Matthew Rothfeld, Jackson Ware Russell, Mantle McLean Rywent, Zaid Sakri, Elena Marie Shelton, Paulina Skoran, David Smart Jr., Brianna Salola, Erica Allison Torres, Jack Francis Van Overloop, Chris Vila, Taylor Ann Wynn. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in occupational therapy please come forward? Michelle Gail Annis. Kirsten Elizabeth Bork. Army Grace Cortez. Laura Ann Catone. Shannon Marie Doherty. Natalie Michelle Fiore. Allison Marie Gates. Kathleen Judice. Molly Lee Holmes. April Jones. Megan Lois Keller. Carla Ray Kraft. Christina Jean Krebs. Michelle Lynn Martin. Robert Scott Meek. Madeline Minogue. Caroline Moberly. Julie Ann Orwig. Emma Marie Penn. Kelsey Lynn Pastina. Amanda Lynn Saylor. Allison Schnackle. Hannah Smuckler. Jacqueline Ann Stellato. Elizabeth Lauren Toppett. Amanda Ann Vatino. Joanne Marie Villanueva. Marissa Jordan Wetzel. Emily Horvath Woodcock. Bethany Joy Woodyot. Elizabeth Ann Zabrinek. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in perfusion technology please come forward? James Michael Barufi Jr. Juan Camacho. Allison Blair Clayton. Tenzin Thawa. John Lewis Engler. Ryan David Garcia. Joseph Schultz Holquist. Clinton James Marshall. Bipul Pokhrel. Jacob Cole Rowland. Eric Daniel Russell. Kelly Marie Toynton. Luisa Maria Vergara. Trong Vu. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in Physician Assistant Studies please come forward? Catherine Rose Reynolds. Leanne Rochelle Rushing. Courtney Ann Sperry. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in respiratory care please come forward? Fahad Nasser Al-Hadian. Salma Al-Hamoud. Hijab Jafain Al-Muteri. Raya Alush. Fahad Salad Al-Shamari. Afnan Saleh Al-Rami. Ryan Anthony Cuttrow. Lauren Janelle Harnwa. Urvinder Kaur. Heidi Kautz. Sean Lang. Ariel Ray Milhauser. Alex Michael Mueller. Aaron Saventi. Jenny Vargas. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in speech-language pathology please come forward? Danielle Marie Babbage. Carly Louise Blodgett. Anne Michelle Clark. Danielle Annette Clark. Catherine Fitcho. Kendra Guck. Grace Gustafson. Kelly Elizabeth Hullahan. Elizabeth Catherine Jenkins. Lila Lupiton. Margaret Fitzmaurice Mann. Samantha Medlin. Alexandra Michelle Monroe. Christina Perro. Thank you. Melissa Mary Peterson. Haley Megan Reef. Yaji Vicky Rong. Elizabeth Ann Rotert. Kelly Ann Shank. Janet Ann Schwartz. Caitlin Marie Slani. Sarah Christine Sternasty. Jocelyn Stolberg. Chelsea K. Visk. Elisa Wong. Ellen Marie Whelan. Erin Christine Willis. Robert A. Wislow, member of the Board of Trustees and Vice Chair, Rush University Board of Governors, and Ms. Susan Crown, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, will replace Ms. Carol Brow Siegel, member of the Board of Trustees and Chair of Rush University Board of Governors, and Mr. William Goodyear, Chair of the Board of Trustees. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in Anatomy and Cell Biology please come forward? Cassidy Chan. Nicole Lucia Purcell. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in biotechnology please come forward? Jessica Elizabeth Bronsky. Marcus Peter Joseph Capisano. Michael Stephen Carrera. Celine Craig. Paul Michael DeBoustros. Natasha B. Ferguson. Jennifer Fernandez. Catherine Elizabeth Field. Ariana Junco. Angela Kirori. Leah Larson. Kevin Patrick Maloney. Minyana Mason. Christine Jane Moss. Naeem Anthony Mufari. Sarah Dislin Murillo. Nicole Ortega Palafox. Kevin Perez. Dmitry Pekovsky. Arnold Salgado. Amy Catherine Stasek. Angelise Stevens. Ashley Elizabeth Graham Stoddard. Joshua Thomas Sutherland. Cameron Dakota Ward. Hilai Wardek. Athena Marie Wells. Alexander Michael Whitcomb. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in clinical research please come forward? Olamide Amuwo, Eugene Corneo Cisneros, Mohammed El Kassab, Harry Fuentes, Imad Abdul Samad Hakimi, Fatih Hani Iskander, Mina Iskander, Sharad Kurana, Michael Morocos, Chan Yu Pugh, Jaskran Singh Sethi, Jarapatap Sinj Sidhu. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in immunology, microbiology, please come forward? Rosalinda Del Toro, Amber Kaminsky, Timothy Kim, Lorraine Ann Loader, will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with a major in integrated biomedical sciences please come forward? Amber Beth Orcutt, will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine please come forward? Timothy P. Flood, MD, Assistant Professor in Ophthalmology, please come forward to present the diploma to your son, Colin Thomas Flood. Colin Thomas Flood. Yasmin Nareen Abedin. Elizabeth Ashley Aguila. Mariam Ahmed Alimara. Marja Farrar Ambrose. Kirsten Margaret Anderson. Andre Baong. Sakib Rahim Baksh. Melissa Ann Baronet. Victoria Gail Bender. Neil Salil Bombi. Nital Ramesh Bave. Noel Bakhter. Allison Marie Braun. Elisa Catherine Brennan. Cherie Antoinette Brown. Robin Lynn Brownell. Lucas Bon Bruton. Autumn Rose Burns. Dennis Pai Chan. Priscilla DeBreth Lily Chow. Shivan Chaudhry. Colleen Ann Considine. Andrew Edwin Cook. Alexa Shalyn Copenhaver. Chelsea Ann Curry. Hugh Pham. Edward Ardanas El Chico. Olivia Martine Danforth. John Warren Anthony DePee. Thomas Francis Dubois. Jordi Alberto Fonts. Anthony Mikhail Gayed. Beverly Gerald. Lauren Alyssa Gimbel. Alexander Stephen Groman. Wen Ha. Kristen Machiko Hara. Lauren Elizabeth Hock. Madeline Maureen Hollowed. Jacob Peter Holton. Kyrie York Hungerford. Courtney Elaine Hutchins. Amir Iqbal. Melissa Ann Ishkameh. Vicky Kang. Michael Karuta. Kevin Paul Corey. Maya Itza Kaler. Megan Kately Kazarag. Paul Joseph Kreinbrink. Jessica Hanson Cruz. Andrew Scott Keown. Christopher Kuo. Kumar Siddharth Lal. Spencer Alexander LeBlanc. Alice Lee. Stephen Leung. Sandy Chen Liu. Caitlin Elizabeth Lopez. Anisha Malhotra. Jill Kursky Marcus. Andrew Michael Mazzoni. Stephen Richard Mazzoni. Samuel Kalick McGowan. Mary Margaret McKenna. Robert Anthony Medeiros. Christopher Mina McHale. Haley Elizabeth Miller. Scholastica Wanji Jaroge. Laika Marie Noor. Jeffrey Charles Ording II. Layla Park. Joey Pham. Jessica Nicole Phelps. Sarah Snyder Phillips. Jillian Hannah Plonsker. Megan Elizabeth Randall. Christopher Allen Rail. Kelly Christina Rhodes. Pauline Elizabeth Richick. Brian Joseph Robbins. Andrew Ernest Rodriguez. Joshua Samuel Rosen. Amanda Renee Ross. Megan Rose Sachs. Valerie Andrus Schott. Tova Melissa Schwartz. Richard Cito. Ramsey Marwan Sheikh. Dorothy Ann Scarusa. Sang Hoon Song. Casey Lynn Steinbrecher. Brian James Stojak. Gorana Syed. Emily Trin. Heidi Anna Mae Tucker. Christine Tung. David Paul Walker. Robalee Lynn Wanderman. Amy Chow Wong. Eileen Wong. George Patrick Warpinski. Sarah Elizabeth Warren. Alexandra Harada White. Lauren Elise Williams. Kitleen Schwinn. King Ming Jung. Hongyi Zhao. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Nursing Practice please come forward? Angelica Armascary Abutton. Alicia Maya Akimowitz. Shermina Abib Foy. Melissa May Alandi. Amy Deal Ames. Summer Dawn Anderson. Michaela Catherine Arsenault. Mohammed Atta. Sarah Grace Fox Orick. Crystal Marie Bonson. Mary Lynn Catherine Barnes. Melissa Marie Barnett. Mallory Baster. Angela Mary Belmont. Mary Frances Bond. Megan Chrisman Bazaire. Helen Jeptum Bois. Rory Pierce Breslin. Rochelle Claire Bukowski. Alexandra Ann Burgoon. Sarah Grace Kane. Marky Angelina Campfield. Allison K. Clark. Marilyn Vicky Clothero. Rochelle Nevin Coleman. Hannah Catherine Compton. Angela Marie Cooper. Laura Anna Teresa Coyle. Elizabeth Erin Culleton. Daniel Danilsic. Marina Gallon de Pablo. Marcy Farrell Doheny. Christina Antoinette Dovalina. Katie Ann Eisenhart Eagle. Malia Ihentala. Elisa Lynn Elkins. Diane Fabian. Nafiza Faiza. Michelle Aaron Ferrant. Margaret Victoria Finn. Kristen Margaret Fisher. Lauren Marie Franker. Judith Fry. Joanne M. Miller, PhD, Associate Professor in Internal Medicine, please come forward to present the diploma to your son, David Lane Miller. David Lane Miller. Jessica Rose Janesh. Amy Jardina. Susan Marie Gierzik. Margaret Elizabeth Gladman. Gabrielle Louise Gonzalez. Kalina Josepha Gorsica. Jennifer Marie Grenier. Cynthia Ann Gunstein. Melissa Marie Halverson. Rebecca Mary Harmon. Brian William Harvey. Cherie Lynn Harvey. Teresa May Havilad. Angela Marie Helt. Christine Nicole Hesby. Stephanie Jean Hoheisel. Jennifer Ann Hohenado. Caitlin Michelle Holman. Tiffany Dawn Hollabow. Patricia Ann Howard. Alyssa Nicole Huber. Ramona Grace Hunter. Charlotte Ibsen. Jacqueline K. Itambo. Emily Allison Jendasic. Jenny Salud Jimenez. Tracy Denis Johnson Wagner. Ivana Karabigovich. Isabella Kazana. Lisa Marie Kelleher. Casey McCafferty Kitchler. Tricia Lynn Kearney. Joan Marie Kircher. Katie Lynn Kluga. Tara Martina Krish. Aaliyah Firozali Lucani. Robert M. Lancaster. Chelsea Patricia Lang. Kenneth Robert Leeson. Kaylee Marie Linzicki. Jacqueline Leibowitz. Amy Catherine Leisenfeld. Carly Ann Lucero. Julia Elizabeth Margulies. Molly Elizabeth Mayer. Michelle Dawn McCauley. Eric Matthew McIntosh. Kimberly Helen Tochteman McCain. Marcy Michelle Metroyanis. Alyssa L. Miller. Anne Kathleen Monaco. Megan Ann Ludwig Morrow. Brenda Lenore Mulzack. Caitlin Ann Murphy. Molly Nelson. Samuel Okechukwu Nwanakpi. Aaron Robert Oakley. Rebecca Ashley Oberfield. Christina Elizabeth Cabuena Oldham. Stephanie Denise Orr. Jennifer Barbara Osborne. Kara Lynn Paris. Ramona Deepak Patel. Tracy Dawn Patino. Denise Marie Peters. Lauren Sue Prieta. Aram Qureshi. Catherine Ray Racanelli. Emily Elizabeth Rakovich. Natalia Josephine Rich. Kimberly Reeby. Patricia Alice Roach. Lauren Lee Sandage. Deanna Schneider. Larissa Marie Schultz. Evelyn Barik Dakara Sinawu. Cynthia Ann Serduk. Katrina Marie Shea. Kenneth Vincent Sherry. Jenny Mae Shoup. Paulette Spears Johnson. Tiffany Morgan St. James. Catherine Wales Stevenson. Sabrina Rose Strayjack. Judith Ann Stike. Rhonda Thompson. Diana Mary Torres. Myla Lynn Tripp. Lisa Vargas. Sandra Volko. Catherine Ann Worley. Taylor Marie Ward. Carissa Marie Waters. Catherine L. Ward. Stephanie Ray Westenberg. Leslie Lynn Whitlow. Debbie Novotny Wheatfelt. Stephanie Lynn Wilson. Stephanie Yohannan. Sarah Young. Lauren Diane Zawarka. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Audiology please come forward? Caitlin Brucari. Lauren Michelle Carmen. Erin Elizabeth Chambers. Danielle Joy Frank. Kaya Elizabeth Graffenstein. Madeline Elise Gubernick. Eric Stephen Huss. Alexandra Caruso Larson. Catherine Elizabeth Leroy. Allison Marie Lip. Bronwyn Karis Milliken. Anastasia Mock. Margaret Juanita Novak. Stephanie Marie Poulis. Philip Brendan Alquiza Sanchez. Kelly Ryan Worf. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please come forward? Booker T. Davis. Anita Lynn Esquera Zwier. Magazabe Jabra Mikal Jabra Krustos. Andrea Marie Klein. Isla Loda. Cynthia Dorothy Schroeder. Lauren Renee Source Van Royen. Claire Elizabeth Sorensen. David Vines. Jenna Lee Hortenza Wallace. Jessica Ann Ward. Dr. Goodman, this concludes the presentation of the graduates.
Well, please join me again in recognizing our graduates and the person who read all those names, Dr. Miriam Ahmad. To welcome our new graduates to the community of health professionals and to reinforce for them and for all of us who are in the healthcare professions the profound nature of our privileges and responsibilities, a Rush University Commencement tradition is to recite together the Oath of Maimonides. Please turn to the inside back cover of your commencement program. I'd like to ask the graduates to stand and turn to face your families and friends. And I would also like to invite healthcare professionals among the families and friends to join the graduates, their faculty, and me in reaffirming our commitment to our patients through a life of service. Would all of you please stand as well? And please read with me. Almighty God, you have created the human body with infinite wisdom. You have chosen me to watch over the life and health of your creatures. I am now about to apply myself to the duties of my profession. Support me in these great labors that they may benefit mankind. Inspire me with love for my art and for your creatures. Do not allow thirst for profit, ambition for renown and admiration to interfere with my profession, for these are the enemies of truth and can lead me astray. Preserve the strength of my body and soul that they ever be ready to help and support rich and poor, good and bad, enemy as well as friend. In the sufferer, let me see only the human being. Enlighten my mind that it recognize what presents itself and that it may comprehend what is absent or hidden. Let it not fail to see what is visible, and permit it the power to see what cannot be seen. For delicate and indefinite are the bounds of the great art of caring for the lives and health of your creatures. Let me never be absent-minded. May no strange thoughts divert my attention at the bedside of the sick, or disturb my mind in its silent labors. Grant that my patients have confidence in me and my art. When those who are wiser than I wish to instruct me, let my soul gratefully follow their guidance, for vast is the extent of our art. Imbue my soul with gentleness and calmness. Let me be contented in everything except in the great science of my profession. Never allow me the thought that I've attained to sufficient knowledge, but vouchsafe to me the strength and ambition ever to extend my knowledge. For art is great, but the mind of man is ever expanding. Almighty God, you have chosen me to watch over the life and death of your creatures. Support me in this great task so that it may benefit mankind. For without your help, not even the least thing will succeed. I'm ready for my vocation, and now I turn unto my calling. Please be seated. Graduates, think back to the days when you were writing your application to Rush University. You had decided to enter healthcare as a career. You probably were driven by a desire to help others, and given all that was wrong with the world as you might have seen it, you probably hoped you could change the world. And some people were probably telling you that whatever you do, just don't mention in the interview that the reason you want to be a nurse or a physician assistant or a doctor, don't say that the reason was because you wanted to help other people and change the world, because why? Sounds too naive. Was it too corny? But today, you and everybody here knows that you were right all along. There really is no better reason to spend your career in healthcare than the desire to help others. And instead of hoping to change the world, you will change it. I say this in all seriousness. I'm not speaking to you as a generation of the next generation of healthcare providers. I'm not speaking to you as a graduating class. I'm speaking to you as individuals. You personally can and will change things for the better. It will take courage, which you have. It took courage to get to this point. You had to face what you didn't know, expose your own vulnerabilities, struggle with difficult conversations, and persevere when things look bleak. Going forward, you'll speak up when things aren't going the right way. You'll ask for help when you need it because you know it's in the best interest of your patient. You'll identify healthcare inequities wherever you practice, and you'll work to remove them. We have seen you do these things over and over. They have become your professional habits. Things won't always go well. There will be days that you'll be down, but you will forgive yourself, an important attribute to nurture and one that you have. And most importantly, because your goal is to change the world, we, your faculty, know that you will be successful. We know this because we have seen you reach every goal you have ever set for yourself. We, your faculty, know these things about you. We admire you, we respect you, and we congratulate you. We are counting on you. We were hopeful about our own plans to change the world, but we are certain about yours. Congratulations. And now will the graduates stand and face their loved ones, and will the spouses, partners, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and children of the graduates please stand or wave. Graduates, this is your second opportunity to thank those that got you here. And now for the last time, if you could be seated, and I'd like to now call on Reverend Thomason to come forward to deliver the benediction, which will officially bring the 45th commencement ceremony to a close. I would request that our guests remain seated until the faculty and students have exited the auditorium.
Oh, my friends, you know that life is short, and we have no time to waste to gladden the hearts of those who walk this journey with us. So be swift to love, make haste to be kind, be quick to serve, and now go in peace. #infantry of empathy. #share the joy.